if you know that people are down here, don't pretend like they're not down there. Now, be humble. I'm not saying be arrogant and treat people less than human, but recognize that, okay, I'm on a different level than this person, especially if you're running a business and you're helping people. You need to require that they meet you where you are at. So that is the second thing that I had to do to really step into my grown woman era and really feel confident in who I am, very self-assured, highly esteemed. I just felt really good about myself because I wasn't allowing people lower than me to drag me down. Peace and prosperity. Welcome back to Earth's Feminine. And if you're new here, welcome. This is the channel where you can come to learn all about primal feminine energy, the feminine energy that existed before colonization, and all of the conditioning around what we believe it means to be a woman. My name is Asaya. I am the creatrix and founder of the Creatrix Academy. The Creatrix Academy is an online platform where you can enroll into courses, programs, and also a community that helps women to unlock what I have coined as their mystical art of feminine energy. If you would like to learn more about the Creatrix Academy, make sure you go down below to the links in the description box below and see what courses, programs, or offerings that I have that resonate the most with you, with where you are currently at on your feminine energy journey. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to go from an immature girl to a grown woman. This video is going to be about how to really step into being a grown woman. When I was in my teenage years, in my early 20s, I didn't really know what it meant to be like fully mature. And clearly, I mean, when you're that age, your brain isn't even fully developed to really kind of cognitively understand certain things. So I give myself a lot of grace. But if I could have known certain things, if I had a big sister, if I had, a best friend in my life that, was older than me, that was up there and mature, and she had been through certain things, to tell me and to guide me, this is how you truly embody stepping into being a grown woman, then this is the video that is literally for that. Like, this is the message that I would have given myself if I had that. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you ladies in this video. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're super young or if you are in your late 20s, mid 30s. Sometimes it goes a little bit beyond the mid 30s, the immaturity. But no matter your age, you can definitely benefit from this video if you find that you are consistently attracting and creating these low frequency, basically toxic experiences into your life. 9 times out of 10, it has a lot to do with your maturity level, how mature you are, and with a greater level of maturity also comes a greater level of class, a greater level of awareness, a greater level of self-mastery that allows you to basically be more precise in what it is that you create and attract into your life. A lot of people, when they meet me, they tend to think I am Miss Goody Two Shoes. I basically had everything fed to me on a silver platter, that I've never been through anything. I guess I give off these really angelic vibes. I don't know, Y'all let me know what y'all think of what kind of vibe I give off. But what I've experienced is like that a good bit of people tend to kind of be blind to the things that I have genuinely been through and the person that I used to be. And honestly, 10 years ago, I was not very mature. I mean, I look back on some of the Facebook posts that I used to post and some of the things that I used to say, and I'm like, what in the world? Like, why am I acting like this? Why did I talk like this? Why did I carry myself like this? And when I think back to those times, the only answer I could give myself was I that was my environment. Like that was what I was surrounded by. That was what I grew up around. Like I grew up around, or I would say in the black community. Like I grew up in the Afro-Indigenous community, and at that time it was very hood. It was very, I mean, it can still be that way, you know, but it was very hood, you know. It was very toxic. Like a lot of the things that I used to say and a lot of the ways I used to behave, like it was just straight gangster. Like I used to hang out with gangsters. After I had my first love, my first boyfriend ever, like I went down this dark spiral of basically depression because of the things that I was experiencing at home with my mom and with my stepdad, and like it was like I was really going through like this kind of existential crisis because I I didn't love myself in a lot of ways. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to appreciate myself. And I felt like it was really hard for people to also give me what I needed and appreciate the light in me at that time. So naturally, I started gravitating towards the dark side, you know. So I started hanging out with gangsters. I dated a gangster when I was like 15 years old. He was like 21, 22. Yeah, I know. And from there, my energy was just like ready to cut a bitch. Like, I know what it means to be in that mindset and in that mind state. A lot of black women or women in the Western world that come up in black culture get into this mindset that is just really, it's just like it's slow. Like it's a really slow mindset to where you are destroying your own self. Your mind is wired to be in this state of fight or flight and war. I have to protect myself. I have to survive. I have to, you know, hold my man down and all this crazy stuff. And it's like when you pull yourself out of that, you realize that when I look back on my Facebook posts, like I'm no longer in that energy. I can clearly see how psychotic a lot of those mindsets, a lot of that energy is. But at the same time, I understand where it comes from. It comes from this place of survival. It comes from this place of feeling like you need to defend yourself and protect yourself from something out there that's trying to get you, which is valid. It's completely valid. We're not going to act like Afro-Indigenous communities and other communities of color haven't been targeted or haven't been put under this radar of racism. And when I feel into the energy and when I think about it, I feel like Afro-Indigenous communities and communities that derive from more indigenous cultures, indigenous ancestry, have had this spell put on them by the Matrix. And this spell just takes over our mind, it takes over our brains, and it causes us to literally behave in such self-destructive, self-deprecating ways to the point where we literally create our own genocide. I've talked about this before in other videos that I've done. I see how all of that had influenced me in not fully maturing to my highest level of being. I'm going to share with you ladies three of the core things that I began to embody that fully enabled me to get myself out of that immature girly era and now into my grown woman era, where I am creating my life. I am creating experiences that are evolved, that are above all of the toxicity and the drama and the low frequency stuff that we tend to create when we're still in this immature and arrested state of development. One of the first things that I did to get myself out of my immature girly era is I started to be extremely mindful of what I was consuming. This is actually the core, like, if not the number one thing that will let you know somebody is arrested in their consciousness, in their development, is that they do not care about what they consume. They have no sensitivity towards what they consume. And a lot of y'all, I know I used to be in this category, we be knowing that it's bad. Like, you know that it's bad. You know that you shouldn't be eating this Popeyes or McDonald's or, processed food all the time, but you're still doing it. You know you shouldn't be watching these toxic movies about who cheated on who and this gangster shooting this gangster and all this crazy stuff happening. The things that you're consuming, the food that you're consuming, the things that you're watching, the things that you're putting on your body, okay? Especially when it comes to cosmetics and makeup and skincare. The majority of women do not care about what they put on their skin or what they put on their body. And when you get to a point in your life where you start to care about what you are consuming, so much so that you are willing to do what you have to do the research, get rid of the things that you need to get rid of, go on the journey that you have to go on in order to make your life pure and clear of all the toxins that are around you that are designed to arrest your development. They are designed to hormonally imbalance you. A lot of the foods, a lot of the drinks, and the cosmetics, even it comes down to even the clothes that we wear, okay? If you do not care about what you are consuming, what you are putting on you, then that is going to, it's going to continue to arrest your development in some way. And a lot of the times you won't be able to know how you are being limited and how you are being dumbed down until you let those things go. Because for me on my journey, I had to let all of those things go little by little. It wasn't all at once, but I started to look at my fridge and say, okay, I can't buy this anymore. I have to replace it with this. I can't wear this lotion anymore. I have to replace it with this. I can't wear this type of makeup anymore. I have to start wearing this. I have to start looking for cosmetics and makeups that actually are good for my skin and good for my body. Y'all have no clue. Like, a lot of the things that we consume are toxic, and they are arresting our development, and they are keeping us in this lower state of consciousness. So that is the first thing that I had to change in order to level myself up, okay? Yeah, you can go to the gym and you can detox and you can do all of those things, but what is the point of what is the point, right? Because I see being healthy and going to the gym, working out and exercising, right, is one way that a lot of women, that's their way of detoxing all that stuff. But it's still becoming a part of your DNA. It's still becoming a part of your cellular makeup. And even if you're detoxing consistently, it's like you're still putting it back in. So it's about leveling up your vibration, it's about leveling up your cells to this higher state of consciousness. Become mindful and care about what you are consuming. And that is going to really up level your mentality, the things that you start to think, the messages you start to receive, the energy that you just desire to be in. The second thing that I did that really got me out of this Immature Girlie era and into my grown woman era was I started to value my energy exchange. I started to value my energetic exchange. What does this mean? This means that in my business, I was doing things and running my business in ways that I had to realize was not valuing myself. I was compromising myself and my needs in order to serve and in order to, make things easier on the people that I was working with. And I realized that way of exchanging my energy is a lot like prostitution, because it's like I'll do whatever you need me to, right? I'll do whatever you need me to for the money, right? I'll do whatever you need, whatever you ask of me, I'll give it to you for the money, right? Whatever your standards are, whatever your level is, I'm going to go down to that level so that I can get this little chump change, because usually it ain't really much of anything anyways. So I had to realize that I was not valuing myself. I did not set up my lifestyle and my business in a way that was valuing me. So I had to begin to start adjusting my prices. I had to begin to start saying, you know what, I don't really like this style of doing business. I'm going to do it in this way because this is what serves me best. I started valuing my time and my energy a lot more, and so I didn't waste it on people that clearly didn't have that same value for their own energy. This has a lot to do with communicating your standards. It has a lot to do with communicating your boundaries with no guilt at all. The motto that I hear a lot of women say to basically override this step in becoming a grown woman is, oh, I've learned to meet people where they're at. I remember there was a friend of mine who was in a really abusive relationship, and I mean, it was super toxic. Like it was toxic to the point where, like, he definitely was physically abusing her, and he had even threatened her life by putting a gun up to her head. And she had, basically put him in jail like multiple times. And I remember traveling back to my hometown, and we met up to catch up, and I wanted to see how she was doing. She wanted to see how I was doing. And of course, I was checking in on, like, are you still in contact with this guy? Like, are you still, talking to him? Because they had a child together. And she was like, I've learned to just meet people where they're at. And as soon as she said that, I knew that they were still together. They were still dealing with each other. She was still probably sleeping with him. And I'm like, this is not okay. You do not meet people where they're at. You require people to meet you at the level that you have now risen to. If you know that you have elevated, if you know that you have grown, if you know that you desire to grow and be this next level version of yourself, you do not crouch down and go backwards into the past, into what you have already done so much to elevate past and grow from. You don't go back down to that level. You require people to meet you where you are at. And if you are meeting people who are above you, that is even better, because you get to learn, you get to grow from these people. If you know that people are down here, don't pretend like they're not down there. Now be humble. I'm not saying be arrogant and treat people less than human, but recognize that, okay, I'm on a different level than this person, especially if you're running a business and you're helping people. You need to require that they meet you where you are at. So that is the second thing that I had to do to really step into my grown woman era and really feel confident in who I am, very self-assured, highly esteemed. I just felt really good about myself because I wasn't allowing people lower than me to drag me down. This is the third thing that I had to stop doing in order to step into my grown woman era. I had to stop lying to myself. I had to stop lying to myself. And I discovered how often people lie to themselves. Actually, this happened in a way that really I wasn't even trying to, I just ended up learning this. I worked for a few months as a high ticket sales closer for a company that worked with women. And in my time working as a high ticket sales closer, this was like a company where they had, offers that were well over 10K, right? Their offer was well over 10K. And my role was to basically close people on this offer that was like $12,000 plus. With that, I had to go through training. I had to go through training in the psychology of sales and the psychology of what causes people to basically say yes to a sale and what also causes them to say no. And the biggest thing that I learned from going through that training and becoming a high ticket sales closer was that people lie to themselves as like a default to protect themselves from whatever deep emotional truth that they're not ready to face yet. This is what people do. And I will tell you right now, this is the key to so many things. After I left being a high ticket sales closer, I decided to create a program called LUNAR Feminine Freedom. And this program is based off of this principle in and of itself, of the lies we tell ourselves and how to become so in tune with yourself to where the truth is all that you know. The truth is all you will allow yourself to accept, to absorb, to live by. So this is key. The easiest way to catch when you are lying to yourself is when you are being asked difficult questions. As a high ticket sales closer, we had to be trained to ask people questions that hit home, to ask people questions that they're 9 times out of 10 not asking themselves, because the answers, when they answer these questions, it's going to bring up the truth. So I want you to get really comfortable whenever you are in situations that you want to see change in. So for example, if you have certain body goals, you have your body's in a certain state of being, and you want that you want a different reality for your body, you don't like really what you're experiencing in your body, then that means that there needs to be change. In order for there to be change, there needs to be truth. You need to be able to see what it is that you are believing and you are thinking about your reality that is stopping you from being able to immediately, not 10 years from now, not 1 year from now, not 5 months from now, but right now, step into that next level reality of having the desired body that you want. I had to stop lying to myself. I had to stop and I had to get really comfortable. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to go through that training and be a high ticket sales closer for that time, because it allowed me to become so aware of how often people avoid this level of intimacy with themselves. Because this level of intimacy that you have with yourself brings up the truth. And the truth, when you see it, what do? Some people, they see it and they act like it's not there, like I said in the beginning, and they turn a blind eye and they ignore it, right? Recipe for disaster. Never do that, okay? Whenever you see the truth, you need to look at the truth. You need to embrace it. You need to bring it into you and find some way to have radical compassion for yourself in accepting that truth, and accept so that you can move forward and make the changes that you need to make. It is so difficult when people have huge egos, okay? When people have huge egos, to accept that they're wrong about something, accept that maybe they haven't been thinking in the best way. What they have been thinking for however long they have been thinking this way, maybe it served them for that time, but right now it doesn't serve them anymore. They have to change the way they think. They have to change the way they behave. And that is something that I had to embrace in order to truly mature and become a grown woman, okay? So these are the 3 key things that for me has helped me in my journey in becoming a grown woman, embracing my higher self, creating higher level experiences, higher quality experiences, opportunities that just, wouldn't have come if I was still in that same mindset. And trust me, I can rewind back in 10 years and connect with people I knew 10 years ago that I used to hang out with, and they still think the same ways. They still act the same way. Nothing has changed. So this is why I say this video doesn't necessarily need to be for a super young woman. It can be for you if you, no matter your age, because maturity is a spiritual development. It is something that is spiritual. You can be however old physically, but spiritually be a child, or be, a baby, or whatever it is. So this is what we want to step into 2024 and beyond. We want to step into grown womanhood, and this is how you do it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.